Hey guys, welcome in Gorilla Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Alex Bulpin, and it's Saturday, December the 7th. That is how we start the week off right. We went 3-0 on Thursday. We took David Montgomery over his receiving yard prop. That smashed a winner. We had our sneaky play, Detroit, in the second quarter. Hey, maybe it took 11 seconds left in the second quarter to cover that, but we know Dan Campbell's going for that on fourth down. So that won for us. And then we took Tucker Kraft over his receiving yard prop. So we ended up going 3-0. We cashed a same game parlay at a plus 750. That was a sick way to start off the week. Let's get into our plays for Sunday. I got 6 plays for you guys. My first play is I'm taking Jonnu Smith, tight end, Miami Dolphins. And we're going to take him over 49.5 receiving yards. Now, we were on him last week. We won our bet with him. He went 10 for 113 last week. Over his last 3 games, he's averaging 100 yards a game over his last 3. He's been an absolute monster. Now, he's overtaken Tyreek Hill for the most catches on the team with 58, and he leads the team in target share. That is a wild stat with Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle on the team, and you, the tight end, is leading the league, this journeyman. So it kind of makes sense. They have to focus all of their attention on Tyreek Hill, which just kind of leaves him wide open in the middle of the field. And Tua likes to get the ball out early. So, I mean, Tyreek's like not even finishing his route before the ball's already in Jonnu's hands. He's a big yards after catch guy, so he can break a couple of tackles and get this for us. I like Jonnu Smith over 49.5 receiving yards. My next play is I'm taking Alvin Kamara, running back, New Orleans Saints, over 82.5 rushing yards. Now, over his last 4 games, he's averaging 97 yards a game over that stretch, and that was with Taysom Hill. Now Taysom Hill is injured. He's blown his knee out. So that's like an extra 5 or 10 rushing attempts going to Alvin Kamara. He was never in the green zone or like goal line to go. It was always going to Taysom Hill. So those are an extra couple rushing attempts that's going Alvin Kamara's way. And he's got a great matchup. The Giants give up the second most rushing yards to the running back position. The last 5 running backs versus the Giants, 4 of them have been in triple digits. And all 4 of those guys have all hit their highest season rush total of the year versus this Giants team. Rico Dowdle went for 112. Chuba Hubbard went for 153. Najee Harris went for 114. And let's not forget about Saquon Barkley's 176 yards versus this same team. Give me Alvin Kamara over 82.5 rushing yards. My next play is I'm taking Brock Bowers. Now, I got this at FanDuel, and I gave this out on Thursday at 67.5. I see it's up to about 69.5 on FanDuel, 71.5 on DraftKings. Anything under about 73.5 I'll take, but Brock Bowers is going to eat. Now, over his last 8 games, he's covered this in 5 of those last 8 games, and he's averaging 84 yards a game over that stretch. Bowers is leading the NFL in receptions. Not tight end receptions, not rookie receptions, not rookie tight end, receptions. More than every other wide receiver in the league, he has the most catches. In the 2 games he's played with Aiden O'Connell so far this year, he's gone 10 for 140 versus Kansas City and 10 for 71 versus Pittsburgh. Those are 2 tough defenses, and now he's going versus one of the worst defenses in Tampa Bay. They give up the 3rd most receiving yards to the tight end position. Everybody eats versus Tampa. This is going to be a great spot. Give me Brock Bowers over 67.5 receiving yards. My next play is we're going to another tight end. We're going back to our boy Trey McBride, and we're going to take him over 66.5 receiving yards. Over his last 5 games, he's averaging 92 yards a game. He's covered this in 3 in a row. He's covered this in 4 of his last 5 games. His last 2 games have been monsters. 12 for 96 versus Minnesota and 12 for 133 versus this same Seattle team he's going for versus now. Except now we have Arizona at home in the Dome, a nice, easy, fast track. Give me Trey McBride over 66.5 receiving yards. My next play, we're taking Isaac Guerrero, the newest running back to the San Francisco 49ers. Now, we're going to take him over 73.5 rushing yards. Now, he's had 2 starts so far this year with injuries to McCaffrey and Jordan Mason. He went 14 for 85 in one and 10 for 99 in the other, so covered easily. Chicago gives up the 5th most rushing yards to the running back position. Chicago has let 11 of the last 12 running backs go over their rushing prop. The last five running backs versus Chicago, Monty and Gibbs both were in the 80s. Aaron Jones 106, Ramondre Stevenson 74, James Conner 107. Like everybody's crushing versus this guy. It's honestly, I've said this before, it's not San Francisco's running backs, it's their running scheme. And Chicago can't stop the run to save their life. This is an easy spot. Give me Isaac Guerrero over 73 and a half rushing yards. And my last play is I'm going to Kenneth Gainwell, the backup running back for my Philadelphia Eagles. And we're going to take him over 20 and a half rushing yards. Now, the Eagles are 14-point favorites versus Carolina. So they should have a nice fat lead in the fourth quarter, and they're trying to kill clock. Now, with the record that they have, they're not going to want to run Saquon Barkley into the ground. Now, Saquon Barkley's rushing yard prop for this game is set at 114 and a half. That's the highest for any running back in the entire league this year. This is a massive number. I would never take over this, but I can't take under either. Let's be honest. It's Saquon. He could rip 270-yard rushes again and go over this. So Carolina gives up the most rushing yards to the running back position, the most rushing attempts, the most rushing touchdowns. You can run all over Carolina. Now, Kenneth Gainwell's covered this number in 3 of his last 4 games. It's only going to take 5 or 6 carries for him to get there. But I think if they have a massive lead, I could see him almost getting close to double-digit touches in this game. And we're looking for 20 and a half rushing yards. All right, guys, we got 6 big bad plays going for Sunday. If you're rocking with me, let's roll.